If you watched last week's What Sold video, I was all like,
Oh my gosh, my sales are amazing now.
well, life has humbled me quite a bit. And in the 2 weeks of sales that we're going to talk about in today's video, sales went right back to being stinky. So let's dive right into talking about these lackluster sales. Hi everyone, my name is Becky Park. I am a part-time reseller on a bunch of different reselling platforms. I resell on the side of teaching full-time as a high school choir teacher. I also am a mom to two very busy kids who do a lot of things that require a lot of driving them around and stuff. But it's a fun life, it's a busy life, it's a full life. And in the small pockets of time that I have, I try to run the most successful reselling business that I can. Some weeks I'm able to do more than others. And although I feel like, I don't know, I think I was like pretty consistent in the 2 weeks of sales that we're going to talk about. I didn't come out on top. Let's just put it that way. Sales were pretty rough. So let's just jump right into the sales for the week. We're going to start by talking about September 17th, which was a Tuesday, which is never good when you start off the week with a $0 sales day. So Tuesday, which was September 17th, on Poshmark, I actually had a few sales, which is great, just nothing super exciting. The first thing to sell was this buckle pop icon gray plaid pearl snap button-up shirt in a men's size medium. That was made of 100% cotton, and it sold for $10. I had $2 into it because I had a friend of mine just give me a ton of clothes before he moved. It was all stuff that he didn't want to take with him when he moved because they already had like their entire house that they had to pack up, and it was a lot of stuff that he was never going to wear anyway because his mom just liked to shop for him, which is really cute. Like, I kind of wonder if I'm going to be that kind of mom, except for the fact that she often bought things for him that he was never going to wear. So I don't want to be that kind of mom. I want to know exactly what my kids like and shop, very purposefully. But anyway, I did end up giving him some money for the items that he gave me to resell. It came out to like around $2 an item. So I had $5.05 of profit from that first sale. So we are just winning from the start. And then the next sale was this cool, that's Kuhl, not cool, like, ooh, what a cool sweater, because this was pretty basic. It wasn't that cool. But it was this gray, full zip, lightweight sweater in a women's size medium. It did have thumb holes. I did put the word active in the listing title as well. Cool can sell for really good money, but not something super basic like this. So this sold for $15. I got this pre-COVID from a fellow reseller who just had too much inventory on her hands. So she sold me some of her inventory. I believe it was like a half pallet. It came out to about $3.92 a piece. And so my net profit on that item was $8.08. And it only took like 4 years. So the next item to sell was actually 2 pieces in a bundle. And in last week's What Sold video, I talked a lot about how if you really want to make sales on items, you have to do one of 2 things. One is you have to ignore an item for a very long time. Or you have to really talk down to it, like really give it the business and tell it how horrible it is, how it'll never sell, how no one wants it. And if you do those things, that item will sell right away. And this is proof. So I had 2 Banana Republic pieces sell in a bundle for $75. The first Banana Republic piece that I will tell you about is not the item that I treated so poorly. It is in fact an item that I picked up of my own accord when I was at a Goodwill earlier in the year, in January to be exact. It was this Banana Republic gray speckled 2-button blazer jacket in a women's size 8. It did have elbow patches. I love a good elbow patch on a cardigan or on a blazer. And I was pretty confident in this piece. Like, I thought that this could do really well. Banana Republic can do well, and do well it did. I'm saying that I sold this for $57.50, and that's because of the discount that I sent. So basically, I subtracted $17.50 from each item to account for the discount. I had $8.16 into this blazer from a Goodwill that I went to with my students, again, in January. That was the All-State Conference, and as students were in rehearsals, I visited a bunch of Goodwills in the area, did some really great sourcing, this being one of those pieces, and I made a net profit of $40.35, which I thought was great. I kind of went through a period where I was sleeping on Banana Republic, but I feel like as I've done more research, I've learned that blazers typically, especially if they're a little bit more current, can do really well. There are some pieces from Banana that can do really, really, really well. You just don't want to pick up their super basic pieces. pieces. So that was kind of a win. I mean, the profit was great. It just took a little bit longer to sell. You know, I got it, like I said, in January of this year, and it's now September that we're talking about. So it took, you know, a good like 7 to 8 months. I don't remember how long after I purchased it that I listed it, but it did take at least half a year to sell, let's say. So the other piece of this bundle was another Banana Republic piece. This is the one that I actually went back and forth so many times. I'm like, do I even list this? Like, is it really worth my time and effort and energy? The only reason I did go ahead and list it is because it was made of 100% wool. So it was this gray 100% merino wool ruffle knit cardigan in a women's size medium. Banana Republic, in case you didn't know, if you look underneath the care tag, there is a tag that will tell you when the item was on sale, like when it was in stores. And I want to say that this was in stores in like 2005 or something like that. Like, it's not quite old enough to be vintage, and even if it were, it's not like cool vintage, you know what I mean? It was my mother-in-law's. She gave it to me for free, and I was like, I'll just list it. Like, it's 100% wool. It at least has that going for it. Literally the day after I listed this, that's when someone bundled the two pieces together, and I was able to send them an offer for $75, like I said, for the two pieces with discounted shipping, and they accepted. So I'm saying that this item sold for $17.50. Again, I had nothing into it, so I'm saying that my net profit on this one item was $8.50. That doesn't even make sense. Well, I don't know what happened to my math. My math is not mathing very well, but I'm saying that I made $8.51 on this item. Okay, I don't know. I'll just accept it for what it is. That being said, this is the item that once it got listed caused someone to bundle those two pieces together. I had that blazer listed for a very long time, but not until this cardigan that I talked so much smack to got listed. Only then did those two pieces sell. So there you have it. Just walk down your bins of clothing, pull out each one and yell at each of them, and then probably they will sell. Moving on to the 18th of September, which was a Wednesday. On eBay, I sold this pair of Nike Metcon 4XD floral gym lifting athletic sneakers in a women's size 9. You guys have probably heard me talk, if you've been watching my channel for a while, about another reseller named Becky. Becky has sent me like, I want to say it's like 3 boxes of clothing, just stuff that she was like, I don't really want to list these things. Like, I'm just going to send them to you. And there have been some amazing pieces in these boxes. Like, it's kind of crazy. I think if I remember correctly, she said that these shoes were actually her personal shoes. And so I listed them pretty high on eBay because comp said that I could. I sold them for $59.99. You guys, I had no money into them, and so my net profit was $57.08. Because of you, I got my highest sale of the week. Let me see. I think this is literally my highest sale of the week. Yep, it is. So thank you, thank you, thank you. They were really cool shoes. I got to learn about a new style of Nike. You're amazing. Thank you so much. And then on the 19th of September, which was a Thursday, I had one Depop sale. This was another item that I was like, oh, why did I get this? I don't even want to list it, but list it I did, and immediately it sold because I was very mean to it. And it was this Ping Collection golf double mercerized white striped polo shirt in a men's size small. Now, if I remember correctly, I think there was like a small stain on it or something too, which even more so made me upset that I had listed it, but it sold on Depop for $18. Someone sent me an offer. I just went ahead and accepted it, even though I knew my profit wouldn't be that big with me paying for shipping, but I just went ahead and accepted because I just wanted it gone, knowing that it had a little flaw. I had $3.75 into it. I had purchased it earlier in August at a 75% off clearance sale at my local consignment store, so my net profit on that was $8.78. On the 20th of September, which was a Friday, I had just a ridiculous Poshmark sale. It was this Loft Factory, so you already know we're off to just a dreadful start. Denim jean mini skirt in a women's size 32. It did have pockets. I put words like basic and stuff. I got this in a ThredUp DIY denim rescue box a bajillion years ago. I'm saying that I had no money into it because if I remember correctly, that rescue box I unboxed on Whatnot. I sold through a lot of the pieces. There were some decent pieces in that box. So everything that didn't sell as part of that Whatnot show, I didn't have any money into because I'd already covered the cost of the box. So I'm saying I had no money into this. I did end up making a net profit of $9.05, but that was from, I don't know, like 2 years ago. I've had that for a long time. I'm still confused as to why I even listed it, but made some money. And then on the 22nd of September, which was a Sunday, on Poshmark, I sold this Broadway and Broom, it's either like a Madewell sub-brand or a J. Crew one, and I don't even know if it still exists, but it was this teal 100% silk short sleeve top in a women's size extra small. I sourced that somewhere, and I think I sourced it for myself. I liked the fact that it was 100% silk. I liked kind of like, I don't know, it had like a cool washed out, almost like tie-dye effect to it. And, it was my size. I think I wore it a handful of times. It just wasn't really anything that I reached for very often. So I ended up listing it. It sold for $10. I had $3 into it from I don't know where. I don't know where I got this. So my net profit on that was $4.05. And that has been listed, I want to say a minimum of 4 years. Like that was listed before I started keeping track of my inventory and list perfectly. And I started doing that. It's been a good while. So yeah, that has been listed for. Whew. And then on the 22nd, I also sold on Poshmark this Garnet Hill blue 100% silk peasant maxi skirt. It was in a women's size medium. I used words like cottagecore and boho. I've been having some good luck with Garnet Hill lately. I found this at a local garage sale. It was a friend of mine that was holding the garage sale. I went at the very end of August. I had about $5 into this, and the item sold for $30, which I was pleased with because when I got it home, I actually was scared that it was like the lining of a skirt and not a skirt by itself, but I think it really was actually like meant to be just worn as a skirt. It's not something that I would wear personally, but some people are into that thing. I don't know. So my net profit on that was $19, but the best thing about it is that it sold within a month, which I was kind of shocked by, but very pleased with. And then I had a string of no sales days. The 23rd, 24th, nothing sold. And then on the 25th of September, which was a Wednesday, on Poshmark, I sold this pair of AG, Adriana Goldschmied, the legging ankle super skinny jeans in a size 25R. These I have had since 2022. I got them at a Plato's Closet 2 years ago in July. They finally sold for $24. I had $10 into them because at that time I was still doing like decently okay with AG, Adriana Goldschmied skinny jeans, but now it's like I don't even know if I could give them away, but these sold for $24 and I made a net profit of $9.20. And then on the 26th of September, which was a Thursday, on eBay, I sold this Under Armour black semi-fitted athletic pair of pants in a women's size extra small. It did have the breast cancer like pink ribbon embroidered on it. This I got a very long time ago from a reseller who learned that she just didn't like to resell clothes. So I bought all of her clothing inventory off of her. Again, I think this was pre-COVID. So this sold for $9.90. I had $2 into each of the items that I got from that one particular reseller. So my net profit was $6.70. And then on the 27th of September, which was a Friday, on Poshmark, I sold this pair of new without the box Oli Jolly Mall. I bet this is an Amazon brand. Like, I'm pretty sure this is just fast fashion, like straight from China that you can get on Amazon. But it was this pair of gray canvas high top side zip lace up shoes in a women's size 9. I sold these for a coworker of mine. We have a consignment deal. She gave me bags and bags and bags of clothing. I want to say not last summer, but the summer before. So I've sold through most of the things of hers that I've listed, but this item has been hanging around for a while, mainly because it's probably an Amazon brand. But they sold for $15. I'm saying that I gave her $4.80 for those because if the profit on an item is under $25, she gets 40%. If it's over $25, she gets 50%. So she made $4.80. I made $7.20. Also on the 27th on Poshmark, I sold this pair of Talbot's classic side zip blue career pants in a women's size 8 petite. These were super flawed. Like, the hem on the pants were basically undone, and if you didn't like fold it under, it would just fall out. So they were in pretty rough shape. I had picked them up at a local consignment store for $3 during a clearance tag sale. So it's not like I had that much into it, but I definitely would not have picked them up had I known that they were flawed in that way. So they sold for $12 on Poshmark, and my net profit was $6.05. And then on the 28th of September, which was a Saturday, on eBay, I sold this Title IX pink striped power mesh tennis or golf skirt or skort, whatever you want to call it. It was lined and it was in a women's size medium. I feel like these tennis skirts have been having a moment. Everyone is loving the ones from like Lululemon and Aloe. This is not either of those brands, but I was like, I'm sure it translates to any other brand. It does not. It does not translate in the same way. But I will say this did sell quickly, just not for like a super large amount, which was to be expected. I picked this up on August 1st of 2024, so I haven't had it for very long. It sold for $13 on eBay. I had $3 into it because there was a tag sale going on at that consignment store, so my net profit was $7.08. So it wasn't a big flip, but it was a quick flip. And then the final sale of the 2 weeks that we will talk about took place on September 29th, which was a Sunday. This was also on eBay. This was one of my best sales of the week as well. This was an Ellie Tahari black and white abstract woven snap button jacket in a women's size small. This I actually got from a reseller buyout that I did last summer. Or was it? Yeah, I think it was last summer. There's a local reseller who was moving into a new job and she just didn't want to resell anymore. She didn't need to. She didn't need that income because she was going to be receiving a pretty steady paycheck from a different job. So I had about $3.85 into each of those items that I bought off of her. The item ended up selling for $49.90. That was an offer that I sent out to watchers. And so my net profit on that was $33.44. Ellie Tahari is one of those brands that is really expensive retail. It's hard to move though when you are trying to resell it. I don't know, like people just are not generally very excited about it. On eBay, I sold 4 items for a gross sales amount of $166.29. My cost of goods for those 8 items was $8.85, and so my net profit from eBay was $104.30. I sold 1 item on Depop for a gross sales amount of $18, and my cost of goods was $3.75, so my net profit was $8.78. And finally, on Poshmark, I sold more than double the amount that I did on eBay. I sold 10 items, whereas on eBay I had only sold 4. My gross sales, however, was not that much higher. It was $203 compared to eBay's $166.29. My cost of goods was higher at $39.88. And so even though I sold more than double the amount of items on Poshmark, my net profit came out to $116.54, which was only like $12 more than I made on eBay. So even though I sold more, I sold a lot of lower priced items and I had some higher price sales over on eBay. So, you know, in the last What Sold video, I talked a lot about how, I don't know, I'd really be hurting if it weren't for eBay, which is ironic given how scared I was to get started on eBay in the first place. But I'm so thankful that I took that plunge. Otherwise, this would be a different video. So in total, I sold 15 items for a gross sales amount of $387.29. My total cost of goods was $52.48, and my net profit in 2 weeks was $229.62, which is pretty sad. That's pretty sad for 2 weeks. Like usually that would be really sad for me for a 1 week net profit grand total, and I'm talking about that's what I did in 2 weeks. Like that is really rough, and I think it's gonna get a little rougher just because this week has been looking okay, but next week we're going on a trip. We have like a 1 week long fall break, and so myself and my brother and my sister-in-law, we are taking my parents and my mother-in-law to Hawaii. It'll be, I think, my mother-in-law's first time. It'll be my parents' first time in Kauai, and I don't know, I'm just very excited to treat them and just give back a little bit because of everything that they gave me. I feel like this is something that I always want to be able to do for my parents, just knowing how much they sacrificed immigrating to this country in their 20s and basically giving up everything that they knew for me so that I could have the life that I have today. And this honestly would have been an impossible trip for us to put together had it not been for, you know, reselling and YouTube and all that jazz. So even just you guys watching this video, thank you for your support. It means the world to me. It means I'm able to just take care of my family and give back to my parents. All that to say, I'm not really going to be selling anything next week, but I will be having a good time, and that's important too. So that is everything for today's video. I hope your sales are looking up. I hope they're not too shabby, but thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that big thumbs up. It does help out my video. It does help out my channel, and I just appreciate you for doing that. So thank you, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!